Yo, what it do, man? This is GrindFace and the Therapist, man. I'm Dimitrius.
And I'm Saniyyah.
We've been together for 23 years, 24, but who's counting? On today, episode 17, we're going to get on the topic of the way people view you. So, you started off on this topic for us.
It always be the way we view others.
The way we view others. I mean, however you want to call it.
I think many times perception is based on one's experience.
Like,
Meaning,
go ahead.
meaning that sometimes we view people based on our own experience. So, for example, let's say if you had a parent that always screamed or talked in a certain tone. So when, you kind of it made you feel sad or it made you feel inferior. So the moment someone speaks to you in that same tone, you automatically relate it to your experience with your mother. So you begin to perceive them like as an aggressive person, when in reality, that may not even be true. I've learned in life, people are going to perceive you based on their own experience, whether true or false, whether right or wrong. It is just what it is. And I think it is it serves no purpose to try to prove to people who you are.
Or please, people. Same thing, I guess.
Prove, please, argue, you know, uh, constantly try to assure people, because the reality of the situation is people are going to see you based on what they want to see. You could be the greatest person in the world. I think in life, it's unrealistic to say that anybody's perfect. I think we all have flaws, right?
Yes.
What's good to someone else may be bad. What's bad to someone else may be good. It just depends on the person who you're asking. But I think in life, you can't please. The saying sounds so cliche, but the whole saying you can't please everyone is true, because people are going to see you based on what they want to see. Like,
I agree.
for example, you can have, well, I don't even want to use the glass halfway full, halfway empty, but it's a good analogy. We can all go outside and see that the sky is blue, right? The sky is blue. But then you may have some people that's like, but I don't like that it's blue, or it's not a perfect blue, or it's not really a certain shade of blue, because they're going to base it based on what they want to see. And it's the same thing in life. You could be good to people, you could be nice to people, you could be whatever to people, but if that's not what they want to see, that's not what they're going to see. So to keep trying to be something in hopes that people will see who you are is unrealistic. So I've just come to the conclusion in life. Well, I've always been like this: just be you. But
Either they gonna like you or they love you, or they not. At the end
and
of the
that's a
day,
reality. And I
it's
think
like
so many times people,
you can't please
you
everybody.
can't please
Please
everyone.
yourself.
Now there's a thing, if you're a certain way and it's not necessarily healthy, because I don't like when people say, well, that's just me. Well, just because that's you doesn't make it okay either, right? There are things that we should always be improving and growing and perfecting or bettering ourselves. So I don't think you should use the excuse of that's just me when it's an unhealthy behavior, or a wrong way of going about
But
things or treating people.
who was saying, who's judging it that it's an unhealthy behavior?
Okay, for
Like
example, like when you're just a rude person, it's like, well, that's just me. Okay, for example, there's a difference between being assertive,
an outspoken,
outspoken,
yeah.
and rude, right? Assertive to me is basically setting boundaries and telling people exactly how you feel, right? When asked or when confronted with certain situations. Now, rude is people say, well, I'm just outspoken, but you're giving your opinion when not solicited, when not asked. That's rude. Like if you're just saying, oh, you don't look nice in that outfit. Well, no one asked you. So
Yes.
now it becomes rude. But if someone's asking you and then you're giving your honest opinion, that's the difference. So when you're just being rude, and it's like you can't just keep saying, well, I'm just outspoken, that's me. No, you're just being rude and no one's asking for your opinion. And you need to kind of change that. But I'm saying just in life in general, right? You just for social media, we could say you could post something, right? Someone doesn't know if it's true. They don't know if it's false. They don't know if it's a joke. They don't know if it's real, but they're going to see it based on
Their
their
experience.
own experience and
Yes.
whatever they want to, not thinking this may be fake. This may be real or whatever else. It's just, this is what I see. This is what I think. So this is what it is. And this is why I'm so big. I had a great conversation with my cousin last night. She's much younger than me and I haven't seen her in years, and we connected on Christmas. And she said something that's so true. I told her, you used to be a hot mess. And she said, you walked in on that version of me. And I love that analogy. I said I had to use that because even in that, we'll see someone in a certain state and then forget that's just that moment. For example, you may walk in on someone where they were going through something, or you may have a conversation with somebody when they were upset. But is that really the overall character of the person, or is that just what you want to see?
Agreed. We all go through hard times and bad situations, and then with the internet thing, yeah, it's funny because you know they don't know they don't know the concept of entertainment. Or I guess people feel like what they see on the internet is just automatically real. I don't know.
I don't necessarily think that. I just think that people like to find the negative in other people.
Oh yes,
People
it's
like to find the negative in people. Okay. People like to find the negative in people even when there's no negative to be seen.
not even in people, just in anything. You know what I'm saying? There's the majority of the
But
people on the internet is searching for the negative shit, the comment. And
because
you,
I think people like to discredit.
yes,
They like to discredit because I know my imperfections. So if I discredit someone else, it also showcases their imperfections. We all have imperfections, right? But I think you should walk in a way of life where I walk in a way of life now that I see people according to how God wants me to see them, right? Not good, not bad, but what it is. I believe this is my thought process. Everybody in life is either a blessing or a curse. And when I say that, it's either you've been sent to bless me or you've been sent to curse me, because either God sent you or the enemy sent you. Now I'm going spiritual, right? But either way, you were sent by someone. You were sent on a task or a purpose for something, right? But this is what people do many times, right? Let's say a blessing is being sent. They are being among certain people, or God has brought certain people into their lives. I see it as a toy, right? So you would get a toy, brand new, used, whatever. You'll give it to a kid. The kid is like, hey, I hate this toy. I don't like this toy. And then you'll give the same toy to another kid, and they're very appreciative, love
value.
it, and value it. And this is what happens in life. We don't value people based on our own experiences or based on what we think a person is, instead of seeing a person for who truly they are. And I say this all
I
this.
think people when they get too much access to you, they overlook your value. Because they
That's
see
true.
you every day.
That's true.
It's like taking a spouse for granted.
That's true.
You got them every day, so you really don't see where they add into your life until they gone. And I think that's with even any type of friendship, family members. When you too close, they
I
tend
don't
to
think friends take
forget
you for
forget.
I can't say any of my friends, but I don't see my friends every day either. I think many times your friends, real friends, see your value. I think it's typically families. I think spouses can take each other for granted.
And
I
even
think,
your children.
yeah, I think, well, I'm not gonna say it's not friends. I'm gonna just say I haven't had that experience with my friends because I don't see my friends every day. We don't talk every day, but when we talk for a long time because we're connecting, because we have our own personal things in our lives. I just think in life we forget to value people, and we're so quick to look at the negative that we forget the positive, because everyone has flaws, right? And I think the reason why I wanted to talk about this, because having a conversation with my cousin yesterday made me look and think about a lot of things. I always like to reflect. I learn from everything, every situation, every kid, every person. I don't care if it's a baby, I'm going to learn. I'm going to learn something. I think when you become too arrogant to learn from people's situation and things, I don't think you should be on earth anymore, because if you know everything, what else is there to do? I think you should be growing and learning in every conversation, in every situation. I'm always learning. I'm always thinking of ways to improve myself just as a person. And so having this conversation, and just little things I've been through recently. It's like, okay, God, let me step back. Let me start to interact and deal with people according to what you say. Not my heart, not what I think, not how I could, because I'm a humanitarian at heart. I think every person deserves it all, but I also understand that's an unhealthy balance, and it's not effective due to having boundaries, right? And so it's like, okay, let me see these people interact with these people according to what you would want me to do, because I value people. I believe relationships are currency, but then I also understand based on their makeup, they may not understand that concept. I don't walk in a nail shop and have somebody do my nails and just think this is an Asian nail technician, right? This is a potential relationship. This relationship can be currency. I don't just look at her as the help.
So are you saying you're opportunist?
No, I'm saying I see everyone with a potential of being of value. I don't just walk in and say, okay, this is the waiter. They're just waiting on me for my food. I see everybody as a person, right? Not as the service that they're doing, but as an individual. Many times I think we see people as what they do.
Their job titles
Yeah,
and
not a
titles
person.
and yeah.
So it's not about the opportunity. It's about giving everybody the opportunity to present themselves. Not like, oh, I'm gonna just write you off because you're the nail technician. But then I also understood there has to be a balance too, right? And this is why I said now I allow God to let me see what He wants me to see this person and what purpose they serve to me in this life. I lost you.
No, I'm listening. Amen. I'm sincere.
Amen. Where we at, church?
That's what you preaching to the folks.
No, I'm not preaching. I'm just saying, just okay, for
Value people for who they are, not the titles they hold and the titles they throw around. I hate when people try to throw around titles, man. That shit is so irritating because I would shit on your title before anything.
I think you should respect people's
No,
titles, especially if it's earned.
that's good for you, but not me.
I
Don't
don't think
don't
it
introduce
defines
you with
you.
your title. It's like go sit down somewhere. Nobody gives a fuck about your title.
Why is that though?
Because a lot of people when they throw around their titles they feel like they're above you they
That's
high
based on, see, you
they
speaking out of
high
your
they
experience.
whole higher
See, you speaking out of, because you're
we
generalizing a whole
no,
group of
if
people.
we had a barbecue why the hell you throwing your title
Oh yeah,
around.
yeah.
You know what I'm
There's no
saying now
point. It depends on
if
the
we at
setting.
the job location at the church or something I understand you throwing your title around but when you at a damn near pool or some shit and you throwing your title around like come on
When
now
it's unrelated to
be
business.
just be regular Joe. You know what I'm saying? It's like, come on now, because the people use that because they don't have nothing else to
Well, I think that's a sense of
uphold.
insecurity.
Yeah.
I think in business, if that's their title, that's their title. They're
Yeah,
telling you who they are.
if we in a business setting, I understand that. But if we at some private somewhere else and you just throwing your titles around, come on, man. It's like
It doesn't make
you
sense.
trying to get some recognition and make you feel
So if
important.
I'm
You know
at
what
the
I'm saying?
grocery store and we just happen to have a
Yes.
casual conversation, then I'm
Yes.
just Jamie.
Yes.
You're just Bill, Bob, whoever.
Yeah, exactly. And so when you start throwing your titles around at private stuff, it's like you looking for some kind of acceptance to me. That's how I take it. Some approval. Look at me. I got a title on my name. Treat me better. You know, that's how I look at it.
I'm gonna say I think it's the mentality of the person. One thing I've learned is I don't look at the action, I look at the intent, right? Um, because your action may not align up to what a person thinks your intentions are. And I think this is how so many times we write people off and we get mad at people because we look at the act and not the intent. We don't look at the heart. Because sometimes let's say you're in a setting and somebody say I'm Dr. Billy Bob or whatever, right? But they could be so used to saying that every day all day that it just comes natural and they're like, "Oh, I forgot I'm at a barbecue." And somebody can look and be like, "Oh, that's arrogant." And that's why I say we judge people based on our experience, not the reality of what's really going on. Because we think they're being arrogant, but they may say, "Hey, I'm Dr. Billy Bo Job or whatever 10 times a day." And so now that they're at the barbecue, they forgot to transition from business to a barbecue. And now you're looking at them arrogant, and that's not even their intent. And this is why I always give people the benefit of the doubt and the opportunity to explain themselves. I'll always ask a question even though there's times where I already know the answer, but I always give you the opportunity to answer the question to allow you to basically explain it before I just be like, okay, this is just what it is. The thing that annoys me is when people assume and they don't ask me. Somebody recently asked me like, "Oh, I wasn't talking to you because I didn't think you liked me." Well, why you didn't think that? Because people tell me that. Did I tell you that? Did you ask me that? They found out it was a lie. But at the end of the day, it's like, I don't think you can ever have an issue with someone if you never address the issue or told them that it was an issue. Because sometimes you're looking at the action, but the intent doesn't align with
Yeah,
what they're doing.
and on that's how people fall for it, because the best line they tell you, "I want don't say nothing, but whoopty whoop whoop whoop."
What do you mean?
Like that's what people do. It's like they don't now they be like, "I'm gonna tell you this. Saniyyah don't like you, but don't say nothing." You know what I'm saying? Because
See,
I
I'm
don't
not
want
that
you.
person.
So now you
I'm
walking
not that
around
person.
feeling like she don't like you
I'm
when
not
this
that
person
person.
told you a lie,
But
and you
that's on you.
trying to hold your loyalty to the person
that's
that
on
told
you.
you, and you just fed into the lie. You know,
That's on you, because I'm a
so that's
firm
a red
believer.
flag. When people say don't say nothing, that's a red flag to me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Anytime
nigga, no, you gonna
I will
speak on
tell
what you're
you,
talking about.
I'm gonna ask the person to give them the benefit of the doubt, unless I just feel like it's just gonna be some drama. But I just feel like you can't come and tell me something about someone without me knowing the facts, right? Because at the end of the day, you may just be telling me things based on about this person, based on your own experience. Where the and people get mad at me because I'm like a fact checker. Where are the facts? You know what I mean? Is it true or is it not? Or is this based on an assumption? What specifically happened that you could say this is a legitimate, truthful statement about this person?
But my thing is, if you can't stand on what you out here saying, they don't say
Then I feel
nothing.
like don't say it.
You know what I'm saying? If you don't want to be confronted on what you run around spreading, then sit down and shut the hell up.
But that's people though,
Like
right?
shit.
People like to assassinate people's character in private, but in public, they're not gonna own or admit to what they're saying.
So shout out to all the people that assassinated my character in private. I know it. They just told me don't say nothing.
You know,
Oh shit.
I think people's character is always getting assassinated, whether you know it or not.
Oh, always.
And I think that's just life because again, people are going to perceive you based on their experience and what they think, not always facts, but assumptions. Because if you didn't go to that person and ask, and I'm not going to say people are always going to tell the truth, because many times they're going to lie and make you think they're not doing what you already know they're doing.
But you just people actions tell on themselves.
It does.
The way they move, the way they do shit, the way they treat other people, that tells you everything right there.
It does. But sometimes you'll never, depending on the settings you meet or know people, and you'll never get to see the real them. They'll never show you the real them.
All right, so what you slowing down on this. So where are we trying to guide this to?
Basically,
so, is my video triggered you on something? All the comments, people talking shit about my video.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
They mad about my video again.
What video?
Excuse me, y'all. I'm drinking. My Christmas video. They upset. I guess my reaction wasn't. I was ungrateful. I was kind of mad. And the thing is, it's so funny because people don't understand the point. I get paid off content and entertainment.
I was just about to say that. I don't understand at this point why people don't understand you're a content creator.
Yeah.
It's just like if you are a secretary, you are a doctor, you're clocking in to work. And if people haven't gotten that by now, I just don't know what to say.
They not. They slow. That's okay.
I don't think it has anything to do with people being slow.
It triggers,
just think
it triggers something within them. That's what I'm saying. That's why I do it.
People like to see the negative and point out the things they don't like in people based on their own experience.
And it because what I say trigger emotion. When you make content, the key is to trigger emotion. Make somebody feel like if that was me, I would have did this. I would have, and that cause engagement. I get them all the time with that shit. Trigger emotion. What's your what you do? You
provoke thought.
Provoke thought, and I trigger emotion.
Yeah, I like conversations that are thought provoking. I like to make people think. I'll ask a question I already know the answer to, but I just want you to think about what you're saying. And I like people to challenge my thought process as well too. Not in a negative way. I just think you should always be growing. And I think I don't know. I think for this year, finding peace for me, and I would challenge or encourage anybody to do this when you meet people, family, or around people, old people, new people, tap into God and see why this person is in your life and who is this person.
What they bring it into your life.
Yeah, like are they? What is the purpose of the relationship or the connection? And I'm finding peace. Well, I think I've always done that. I've always done that, but every new venture requires new things. For example, like when you first ride a bike, you may fall a few times, right? You're going to be unbalanced. You're going to be shaky. It's not until you keep getting back up on that thing, you're going to basically realize, okay, I got this. And then before you know it, you're riding a bike.
Then you're doing
But it's,
wheelies. Ugh.
yeah, but it's a process, right? When you first start driving a car, it's like, oh, I'm nervous. I don't want to drive the freeway. All this different stuff. When you first start dating a person, it's always new. You're always learning new things. And in the beginning, you don't know if you got it, you got it.
But then hold on, because you saying you always learning new things.
You didn't let me
No,
finish.
no,
I'm
because
going
hold
to
on.
somewhere.
Yeah, but at the time, you can't learn no more. You rode the bike so long, you know everything about the bike. You drove a car so much, you know everything. You dated this person, you know
You're not
everything.
listening to what I'm saying. In life, with new experiences, you're always going to be learning new things. So you didn't let me finish. I'm getting to the point. Starting a business, I've been in business over a year. I think in March, April, it'll be 2 years with this business. I'm learning new things. You're learning how to interact with people. You're learning what to do. You're figuring it out. You're wobbling on the bike. You know what I'm saying? And then there's things that I'm learning over the year that I would never do again. There's things that I'm learning that okay, I'll try that again. Or I'll tweak this or I'll do that. Or, one of the biggest things in business that I've always hated is I never wanted to see my staff as employees or just an employee. You know what I mean? I saw them as people. I saw them as potential relationships, currency. And I just realized that God had to show me you can't view it like that. You have to view it as they're coming here getting a check. And that's how they view it, as a job, where you're putting more out into it because you're seeing people as people in currency. They're not necessarily looking at you or at a place in the company the same way you're viewing them. So with everything, you're learning, right? You're evolving. And then you got to understand too, with different people in different settings, you got to know what they're there for. And that's what I said. The peace I'm finding in God is because I've always done this. And that's what I'm going back to. I've always basically um, sought God on the people who I connect with or I meet, or, what is the purpose of this? But with new things, it requires new education in this new thing because I've always viewed people as relationships, because relationships to me is more than money, is currency. I don't care about clothes. People see me with designer. I had family member last night. I had on designer last night. And I was like, I don't care about this. I care about my purpose with God in life. You care more about this. I don't care about this. You know, things attract people. Some people will never talk to you if you don't have on designer. That's not why I buy it, but it's the reality. People may not even notice you if you never walk up and wear a certain thing, because people we're in reality shallow. But that's not why I do it. I do it. I don't care if it's $5 or $500. If I like it, I want it, I'm buying it. Period. If it makes sense, I'm not going to break the bank and go broke. But my point is this: in life, you're always going to be evolving, or you should be evolving, right? And in new challenges and new things that you learn, people are going to come across the way. My thought process has always been, and I still live and believe this, that people are currency. Relationships are worth more than money. The only thing is, I think sometimes we get caught up in, you got to ask God, what is this person here for? Some people are seasonal, some people are for a lifetime. And we have to learn the way we view people. We have to learn and think about what we invest or don't invest in people. After talking to my cousin yesterday, and she said something, she said, so many people wrote me off. And she was like, they walked in on that version. I was like, dang. I was praising her. I was happy about her accomplishment and her seeking and getting her. I was like, I was on cloud nine. That made me happy, to see her in the place where she's at today. And we do that as people. I don't say kids are bad. Nobody will ever tell me a kid is bad. If you a certain age, the kid ain't bad, the parent is bad. Because it's the parenting. It's not the kid. And so many times we judge and we look at people based on our own experience instead of saying, what value does this person have? We value is the last thing we look at people. We either like them or we don't. And then when you be like, well, why you don't like this person? It's like, that's not even really a legitimate reason. But I find peace in seeking God in everything and saying, you know, what is the purpose of this person? And I think you should do that with everything, especially people.
You get a coin on that one.
I don't even think he was listening.
Get 2 points on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Value people. We got the point.
No, that's just something that's been dear to me lately. Just a
Value
lot
people.
of different stuff that I'm learning and seeking God on. And it's like, well, why is this happening? Why is that? And it'll be a whole spiritual podcast.
Yeah, my thing is basically everybody's not you. I mean, the way you move is not the way somebody else will move. And a lot of people make that bad decision because what they won't do, thinking somebody else won't do to them. And that's a bad way to go. You know what I'm saying? You have the nicest person give you the shirt off their back, and now they pissed off because that next person won't give them their shirt off their back. They don't move like that. And you can't expect everybody to move how you move.
Very true. But within everything that comes new, there comes new experiences and new learning lessons that you have to learn. 2022 was a whole God slapped me around through 2022. It's like, look, I need you to get this. But I understand, everything I went through in 2022, it didn't break me. It just made me stronger. And once I got the vision of what is to come, and the reason why is because you can't handle something down here, or you can't handle something up here on the next level if you haven't conquered it down here. And so understanding what was going on and why I needed to reevaluate. Because before I'd be like, you know, if my esthetician is cool, then she cool. But it's like, nah. And God was telling me where I'm taking you, you can no longer move like that. I still want you to see people as currency and see people as being valued, but you can't move like that. And I said, okay. I would go into it, but I think I'll probably talk about this in depth a year from now when everything is moving. They'll be like, oh, okay, that's what she was talking about on this podcast.
But she be trying to tell me how I should move, though. Shit.
What do you mean?
All the way I was moving. You shouldn't do this. You shouldn't be here. You shouldn't like.
What do you mean? When you tell me, I listen. It took me a few times to get beat up a few times, but I did listen.
So just the way you move is different. Everybody need to pay attention on the way you move.
Let
And
me
who's in your
specify,
circle.
beat up spiritually, not beat up like he's putting his hands on me. So you'd be like, you got beat up. No, God had to slap me around a few times to basically let me stop,
Well,
because God is not going to slap you
if
around.
they
So let
feel
me
like
stop saying
God
that.
physically abused you, I mean,
No, they probably
they
thought I was
really
talking about
lost.
you.
I mean,
So
shit.
no, but let me say, because God is a gentle and loving God, but God will allow things to happen intentionally for you to look up and look at things. And all this year, He was allowing things to happen and was showing me you cannot connect with the people the same way that you've been connecting before. And
Okay, but we've been not to cut you off, but to cut you off. Um, you just saying how you been through it. This year was you went through it. You learned lessons. God smacked you
this
around.
will be a whole book.
You know what I'm saying? And but yeah, you walked around with a smile. How why is that?
This is what I believe, right? I believe there's strength of talking about something after you've been through it, because it's you conquered it. And I also think what I go through doesn't define me. And I always feel like it could be worse. And I think it's easy to profess God when everything is going right. But your true character shows, like when your back is against the wall, how do you behave then? It's easy to be like, oh, I'm patient and I'm kind and I'm loving when everything is going right. But when everything is going wrong, how patient are you? How loving are you? How kind are you? You know what I mean? And so for me, my faith was grounded in God. Like, yeah, people have no idea. I think some people think they seen. I'm like, y'all don't even know what 2022, like just everything. Certain people got to see certain stuff, but it's like some people was like, I didn't know you was when I'm telling, yeah, because I didn't talk about it, because I felt like at first I thought it was an attack. I'm like, oh, the enemy attacking me. And then after like one of the last incidents happened, I was like, nah, this ain't an attack. The enemy can't touch me. Like, you're allowing this stuff to happen. And I think that's the point that God wanted me to come to is like, no, I'm doing this. I'm allowing it because I want you to see what I'm showing you. And when I really got in his face, you know what I mean? When I really, really sat down and really, really got in his face, and I've been in his face since then, not only did he show me why everything was happening, he also showed me what he was preparing me for. He also showed me he was aligning and moving people for where it was about to take. Man, I'm telling you.
She's talking about God, not me. Just want to make sure they clear
This
on that.
is something that a year or two from now, I'll have to come back and touch because I don't want to get into it because I don't, everything that God is. That's another thing. I'm too honest. And many times I tell too much. And that's another thing God has showed me is like,
Shoot her in the foot. I mean,
stop
shoot yourself in the
saying
foot.
and showing everything I'm telling you. And so for now, it's just like, okay, I'm not saying anything. I'm not, I'm shut off. You know what I mean? And so, but it's not making sense. But trust me, probably not even a year from now, it's gonna make sense.
Boom. Hit them with the drums. Like, yeah, makes sense in a year. So stay tuned in a year.
I don't
Or
even
just go
think
pick up her book. I mean,
I
she
don't
got some
even
books.
I
Get
don't
some
even think
gems
it's
in her
gonna
book.
be a year. I just know that God is preparing me for what's to come,
Are
and
you
I'm
gonna write a book
excited.
about this?
This journey, yeah, I think I am. I think
Am I gonna
because,
be in your journey?
of course, you're a part of the journey, but I think people need to understand, like, you know, I had a family member was like, "Dang, what he say?" He said, "You go through stuff very well," and I'm like, "Yeah," because I don't
Now I
believe
know when she go through stuff. I'll be like, man up, get up, shit.
you're my husband.
Like, god damn,
But you
stop
said,
moping.
"Man up, get up." But let's be real. I'm gonna cry about that thing for 15 minutes, and after that, it's like, let's go, because I'm not gonna allow myself to stay there. Even when my cousin died. Remember when we went out to eat to Yard House? I was laying in the bed and I started to cry, and I felt depression coming up, and I jumped out the bed. I was like, I told him, I was like, hey, I gotta get up. Like, we
Who?
gotta,
Me or God?
you.
Because y'all, you getting us confused. If he
I
was with
jumped
me.
up and told my husband, Dimitrius, I have to get up. I have to get out of here. And he took me out to Yard House because I couldn't stay in that place. And that's one thing about me. And honestly, I understand now that was a part of my childhood trauma though. Is like I never was in the mode of I was allowed to stay there. I was like I was the youngest of my mom's kids, but I was the go-to. It was like everything was kind of dependent on me. And so when everything was going on, I never was allowed to grieve or cry, or it was like, nah, this is happening in real time. Like, you got to get up. It was like survival skills. And even though I still have that mindset, I have a more healthy mindset. I allow myself to cry, but I don't allow myself to stay there.
Yeah, I guess a lot of people deal with grief different because honestly, I don't even know how I deal with grief. I think I just forget about it,
You
move
shut
on.
off. No, you don't. You
You know what
shut
I'm
off.
saying? I don't know.
You shut off. And I know to leave you alone and give you your time. Um, but for me, when I'm going through something, sometimes people don't know that I'm going through something because I allow myself to have moments, because I understand that I can't just shut off because I still got stuff to do, and that's not a reality of life. Um, and I think the blessing of even going back to when you said, how did you always smile when you was everything that was going on, is because I believe if we say we serve a God and he is who he says he is, we should always walk as conquerors and not in defeat. That doesn't mean we don't go through, we have trials and tribulations and we hurt, but I won't let it defeat me. I'll have a moment, a day, a few days where I'm upset about something, but after that, it's like, I'm done talking about it. It's over. Let's go.
Let's go. Next topic then. Next topic then.
I just say, if you don't take anything from this podcast, take just, evaluate, reevaluate the way you look at people, you know.
And I stop putting your own emotions and shit, especially when you see shit on the internet. I think that's why the
That's
internet
a
is
trigger for you, huh?
a big booming business.
Oh,
You
emotions.
know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
people
Because
buy
it's
off
like,
emotion. People
yeah.
get in relationships off emotion. People make hard
Oh, let's
decisions off
we
emotion
just said this. I see it a lot of like people go through relationship issues by watching other fake relationships on Instagram and
because they
stuff. It's
want
like
that.
you put in a standard on your man by you seeing a fake video on Instagram. It's so crazy. Not even your man or your woman. You know what I'm saying? It's like social media is dictating a whole lot of shit in real life.
But that's why social media cannot, and I will show you my time spent on social media. If you get over 30 minutes a day, it's a problem for me because this is my thing. Social media is not paying me. So therefore, there's no need for me to be on social media like that.
But think about it, how it's curving and influence everything.
Well, Facebook is paying me, but it
It
ain't enough for
is
me to be on social media
but
like that.
it's influenced everything. You know, it just from the color you do your Christmas tree, just because you seen some videos and look nice on
I don't.
TikTok.
Well,
You know what I'm
well, well.
saying?
Wait,
It's
wait,
like
wait, wait, wait. I don't think that has anything to do with because obviously, shopping works like this. People like they copied me. No, they didn't. Shopping works like this. The only way you're gonna buy something is if you see it first.
true.
I mean, that's just getting ideas. That doesn't mean it's dictating your life because the only way I've ever wanted a G Wagon, I had to see somebody else driving it. I didn't go to the dealership. I was like, oh, that car is nice. I didn't want it because they had it. It was because I saw it. You see some shoes. It's not that you want that what that person had. What some people do
Now
when people have, but
sometimes it's
it's
how the
advertisement.
swag of
But
it
hold
they
on.
put it on.
But this is the thing. Everybody in this world is a walking billboard,
True.
and you're walking a billboard for free. And we all walking billboards for free because it's something that you're wearing
You
or
promoting, yeah.
doing that you're promoting unknowingly, and somebody wants it because they seen it on you.
True. This
It's
is
branding and marketing at its finest for big
and this is why
corporations.
I said social media is a big influence, because a lot of people
No, it's
don't
an
realize
influence.
what they promoting. You know what I'm
People
saying?
don't understand that they're promoting.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just having fun. I'm just doing this, but they don't understand the
You're
small
promoting that. You're
factors.
promoting that hotel. You're
Hmm.
promoting that car. You're promoting that restaurant. You're promoting the shoes. We're walking billboards. I say that all the time. You are promoting, and that's why I'm mindful. As a matter of fact, I went to Dolce and Gabbana, and I love their tennis shoes because their tennis shoes are always different. I just love their tennis shoes. That's just me personally, right? And somebody, okay, so let me switch gears because I'm jumping around. I love their tennis shoes. So I love all on the tennis shoes. I love fashion. I love, and then it came to a word. It said, I said, what is this? I asked the word, what does it say? Because I couldn't make it out. It was like kind of in cursive because I'm like, I gotta know what the representation of what these shoes are saying. If it say I'm loving Satan or something like that, I can't buy these. So what is it saying? And then you'll have people like somebody was on your thread, Louis Vuitton, they had a zoo for slaves or something like that. Now I didn't know that. Now, I didn't research it. I may research it, but this is the thing that annoys me with people. People always try to find fault in what you're doing, right? But if you go in the history of anything that you buy,
Bank.
eat, wear, bank, sleep, wherever, it's going to be some history attached to that. So this is my thing. If you're not researching the history of everything you wear, drive, the gas you use, because somebody invented that. Somebody's family owns that. So if
Yes,
you're not going to research everything you consume and do, don't tell me about what somebody did and what I don't want to hear it.
that part. You know what I'm saying?
That's another thing of always trying to find fault in people and what they do.
That local gas station you go to
The
every day.
family may be a part of a
Yeah.
cartel or murders or racist. Like, if you're not going to research everything you do in life, don't get on my status telling me what a designer did or didn't do. If you're telling me for information purposes, great. But don't tell me I'm wearing something and trying to make it a fault because you're looking for something negative. Because if we look at everything we consume, I'm telling you, it's history behind every owner or family that everything we eat, watch, drink, whatever. Trust me, it is.
Amen. I'll give you a coin on that one. You taking all my coins today.
No, I'm just saying it just
No,
people
it
look
is. They
for
just.
fault.
It's a natural way to hate. I mean, shit. At the end of the day, they just.
You could do
Yeah.
everything in the world for someone. Some person get mad at this one thing. You're a horrible You know, one of my prayers this year has been I want everything exposed. I want every lie on me that was told. I want every assassination of character. I want everything I've been through. I want everything exposed because you can't keep just lying on people and doing stuff to people and doing things and don't think God is not going to uncover and show your hand.
But exposed to who?
I want the truth revealed.
To who? What does it matter?
Vindication.
But if they don't got a voice, what does it matter?
Let me tell you something about me. There's never been a lie told on me that's never came to light.
But what I'm trying to say is, you got this one person got 1 million followers, made a lie on you, and they say, "Hey, I was lying on this person," so their audience could reach.
It doesn't come to
But
light necessarily like that.
if this person don't have an audience, but they just go with the one person here, here, and there, and their lie be exposed, who's actually seeing the exposing? You know what I'm saying?
It's not about
It's
who
like
sees. It's not about who sees. It's just like what's done in the dark will come to the light.
it will come to the light, but actually, who's gonna see the light?
I'm not worried
And
about
it's like why
this.
somebody do something to you in public, but they want to apologize you in private.
Oh, that happens to me all the time.
I mean,
This
is not justice. You know what I'm saying? Where's the justice at?
That happens to me. People would do this and then come call, and it's like, but this is not what you're telling people though. But you know, I take it in stride. I don't say nothing. I don't out it. It's just whatever it is, what it is. But trust me, stuff like that happens all the time. But what I'm saying is I'm not worried about who sees, you know, even with the person's heart is convicted. If I'm wrong, I will stand on a mountaintop. And I don't have a problem with telling you, her, him, they, the world, I was wrong. I don't have a problem with apologizing, saying, you know what, I shouldn't have did that. You know, because if I do something wrong, I actually feel bad about it. Like if I'm wrong and it is detrimental or hurt somebody, it bothers me to my core. So it just trips me out when people can wrong people and it's like, and you can still sleep. Like you can't be a child of God to me when you can walk in a certain way and do things and not feel bad about it, especially when it's brought to your attention. Because again, I believe in action versus intent. Because some things you may be doing something and you're not even aware that you're doing it. But once it's brought to your attention, and you feel nothing at all and you keep shifting blame, I don't know if you really rocking with God like that. You go to church every day of the week. You can say you love, but I just personally don't believe because God convicts those that he loves. God chastises his kids. So if you wrong, he's gonna convict you and show you that he ain't gonna condemn you, but he will convict you. So when I see people that God this, God that, and you know you wrong, and you know you lying, and you just continued, I can't respect it. Me personally, I can't respect it. Because again, if I'm wrong, I'm going to stand on the mountaintop and tell you I'm wrong. And I'm going to apologize so you understand that I'm really empathetic, sympathetic, and I feel bad about what I did. Whatever. This ain't a circus act, dude.
That's not a circuit. They do that on Apollo. Not even Apollo.
Whatever.
Arsenio Hall.
No, but I'm serious. Like, I'm just so, I'm on 10. I'm happy.
I think the listeners and viewers could hear the passion in
And
your
I'm
voice.
happy. When God put some stuff in perspective for me, I'm just, man, y'all have no idea.
Y'all hear the passion when she
I
talk
have
about
no
God.
idea.
That's that passion.
God really got me through this
Now
year.
the thing is that passion when she talking about her man?
Yeah, I love my husband.
Do you talk about me like that to your homies and shit?
My homies, I don't have homies.
So you don't talk about me like this, huh?
You're funny.
You don't. This is a serious question. Do you talk about your man how you talk about God?
I think when you're passionate,
Is you passionate about me?
If I wasn't passionate about you, I wouldn't be married to you.
You still didn't answer the question. You passionate about me?
Of course.
Do you talk about me even I'm not around like this?
Of course. It depends on what I'm talking about. I think when you're passionate about something, like and people can mistake too my passion for anger. And it's like, no, I'm really passionate or this, you know what I mean? Doesn't mean I have a complicated personality because I think sometimes people, even when I joke, they be like, I don't know if you're joking or not because you're
Because you're not
serious.
a you're not a joking person. Now, see, I'm joke, I joke. It's that's not your personality.
You know what? I sent Jamie a joke through text, and she was like, she wouldn't say anything like this. And I was like, I knew you was going to think that. But I'm learning in life, too, to be more lighthearted,
And
to not
relax.
take everything so serious. And I think it's throwing people off in this season for me because how I'm joking and I'm playing. And because I've learned to not take myself so serious, not take the world so serious, not it's okay to let your hair down sometimes and just have fun. I like even at the party when I was dancing, they was like,
Whoa, she's
Auntie
dancing.
Saniyyah dancing? She, you know what I mean? And then I kind of looked back and had to go delete a video because I'm like, that ain't the song I necessarily want to represent to what I'm posting. But um, it's kind of like, no, I'm just in a new place. And I think, and this is the thing, again, what my little cousin said last night, you walked in on that version. I'm always gonna be Saniyyah. I'm always my man. I don't have mask to change. And there's some people that you see them they somebody completely different. What you see is really what you get. Um, but I'm just learning to live and enjoy life. The time, man, God has shown me so much. I don't know if I'm gonna do a book on this or there may be a time where I have a speaking engagement and speak on this. But this journey of my life right here, this year was hard for me. People don't know, like I had contemplated throwing in the towel, like not on life, not suicide, but just quitting some things. And I'm just like, I was just at the point where I was tired of, like, I'm tired of people. You know what I mean? Because in my personal life, people don't have access to me like that. I don't deal with a lot of people. And when you run a company, you come across so many different people in business, so many different staff in and out. You it's just so many growing pains, so many. And I was like, God, I'm tired of people. Like I'm just done with people. And he's like, nah, you can't do that. But this is what I need you to do.
That's good. My 2022 been good to me. I ain't got no complaints.
You're not about to level up like me though.
That's not because I've been leveling up. Shit. Hold on. That's the point. Because nigga, I've been leveling up.
Man, what
But
God got stored, you have no idea.
that's great.
I had to learn things for this next walk.
No, I mean the things you was learning, I've been trying to instill in you for the longest.
No,
Like
because
you
I
just
already
didn't
had it.
listen to me.
I just needed
You know what I'm
this is the
saying? And
thing.
that's where we
Hold
balance
on.
out. She's
No.
like the kind hearted and I'm the asshole. You know what I'm saying? Like
No, I'm not a
all that
pushover. I'm not
all
a
the
let's keep it clear.
you more passionate and
I'm not a
more
no.
what they compassionate for
I'm
people.
very
You know what
compassionate.
I'm saying?
I'm
You
very
you want to you
compassionate.
take on people's problems
I
like it's
don't
your
take on their
problems. Like
problems.
hold on, no shit, nobody give a fuck. You know what I'm
This
saying?
is my thing. I'm not a pushover. I'm not naive. But again, I believe relationships are currency. I don't see
I believe
people
relationships is currency either, but I ain't gonna put up with the bullshit.
listen to what I'm saying. I won't either. But listen, but I give people the benefit of the doubt because I'm always gonna
I
say
ain't gonna give you the benefit of doubt.
I'm gonna give everybody the benefit of the doubt. But this is what I was doing that was wrong. Is that in every setting there's different type of relationships. It's different in different settings. I don't deal with a whole lot of people. When you're running a business, you're dealing, but God gave me strategy to say, you can't do that anymore. He gave me that. He showed me that. He showed me everything I needed to do, and I'm happy and I'm grateful for it because I understand it now. Because what I don't like to be is different people in different settings.
Okay, so how would the people learn from what you've been through? Like, what kind of advice would you give them?
See
Like,
God in every person. Every person,
well, what if the God ain't communicating with them that
Okay,
well?
so maybe they don't have a God communicate. Maybe they don't have a
What,
relationship.
okay,
So
well,
this is what I would say. This is what I would have to say. People are either a blessing or a curse. Some people are going to come into your life because the enemy sent them. Some people are going to come into your life because the God sent them. You got to know what purpose or position that it plays.
well, how do we know? You know what
Well, I
I'm
mean,
saying?
honestly,
It's
there's no
like
reason
what
how
kind of
you can know
sign? Yeah.
except you really tapped into God. Now, that's just the reality. There is no way around God in
So
this
so
because God.
certain. So what about? I would say when you start seeing red flags, and then sometimes you're so close to a person you don't notice the red flags because you don't want to
But
see it.
listen, but listen. The person can be an all around great person. There doesn't even have to be red flags, but that doesn't mean this person is supposed to be up close and personal with you. This is what I'm saying. This could be a great person.
It sounds like it should get confusing.
Listen to what I'm saying. It could be a great, okay, for example, we have housekeepers. We're not beneath them, we're not above them. We're not viewing them based on they clean our house, right? They're great people. I trust them. That's why I let them in my house. But that doesn't mean I need to invite them to the barbecue. That doesn't mean I'm supposed to have a personal relationship with them. That just means they're here to do a job, and that's to clean the house.
Okay.
If I go to the bank, I bake there. The teller may be an awesome person. She may be sweet. There may not be any red flags. My purpose in connect with her just based on God is to just smile every time I see her and tell her something positive. That doesn't mean she's meant to come to the barbecue.
But what if she is? How do you know?
Uh,
You know what I'm saying?
God,
That's what I'm saying. It gets tricky. It's like, oh, look, I met this great person at the grocery store. I just invited him over for dinner.
I don't think you should do that
How do
anyways.
you know
I don't think you should do that anyways.
who's for you and against you? And then that's where it gets difficult at, because it's hard
But
out here. You know what I'm saying?
everybody's
Like,
not against you. It's not a
you
every
just
this
said
not
either they're a blessing or a curse.
they
If you a curse, you against me.
yeah. But what I'm saying is just because somebody's okay, for example, I went to Tuesday. My friend kept trying to get me to go to the Zoom class, trying to get me to go to the Zoom class. Went to the Zumba class. The instructor later on, she told me she saw me and was like, "I hope she's in my class." Didn't know we walked in at the same time. Didn't know she was the instructor. She ended up saying some stuff. God had me tell her some stuff. Boom. Just by me, and I'll probably never go to her Zumba class again, but that connection was for me to tell her what she needed to hear, what God needed to have her hear. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Something may just be
Yes, you saying that's it, but ain't you gonna hook up with her again?
her
Yeah. So what made that decision of, okay, this is not just the instructor. Now I'm gonna reach out and connect.
because what
You
I
know what
was
I'm
already
saying? This
praying
is
for. So when I was already praying for something and seeking God on something, before I got there, right? I had been talking to God about this for like 2 weeks. So when I went to the class and she opened up and said something, and then the exchange, we both needed something from each other. It was a connection. And when she started talking to her about God, everything was so on point. She knew
so basically, people, if you ain't speaking to God and praying in your prayer closet,
basically,
you gonna be out here fucked.
basically,
This what it sounds, and this is why I don't
basically,
fuck with nobody, because I'm not in my prayer closet and
because
I ain't
there's
taking a
people
risk on nobody. And
there.
that's sad.
This is the thing too, though. You know, um, and it was crazy because when I was talking to her, it was like everything, very when you're giving, you could be taken advantage of a lot of times because where other people have motives, you're moving out of pure intentions. And so I'll give to a stranger. And it's not because, like, there's things I've done that people would never know about. I'm not the type to go feed the homeless and do a whole video about it. You will
I
never
am.
see that. Yeah, see, he content. You will never see what I do because what I do is between me and God. It's not for the world to see because I'm doing it from my heart. I'm not doing it to be seen. So a lot of stuff I do, you'll never know about. And it's intended for you to never know about because I'm not doing it for recognition. I'm doing it because that's my heart. But many times when you have a heart, people take
But
advantage of
so
your kindness.
hold on,
What?
hold on. Pump the motherfucking brakes. Cause you could do shit and record it and it be coming from your heart. You know what I'm
I'm
saying?
not.
So you can't
I'm
knock
not
the
gonna walk
people
up and I'm
that
not.
got it, because content created and doing it also inspires others to make a move and get off their asses and do shit. So it's a double sided. You know what I'm saying? You just, because what you do in private, I feel like that's feeding you personally within something.
That's feeding
This is
God.
this is what I'm doing privately. It's self gratification for you. But when you doing it and making the content and inspiring others to get off their ass and move, that's a whole different element. So you can't say they ain't doing it from their heart either. So I'm gonna have to disagree on that one.
Did I say they weren't doing it from their heart?
Yeah, you saying the people that, you know what I'm saying, something they could
I
rewind it and
said
figure out.
because I'm me not doing it. I can't speak for
So it's
listen,
you getting a gratification within
listen,
yourself.
listen. I get gratification for helping people, period, because that's what I was created to do.
So if you wasn't getting the gratification, would you still do it?
No, listen, in life, who does things when they don't get gratification for it? They do it because they have to. I get gratification by doing whatever God tell me to do because I know it's a reward from him in the end. I'm pleasing my Father. Is there times that there's things I don't want to do? 100%. But there's still gratification to understand, okay, God, I'm doing what you would have me to do. But going back, I don't knock nobody, whatever they're doing, because again, I don't look at action, it's intent, it's the heart. What are the motives behind it? I said for me, when God has me do something, it's not for show. When I go pray, I don't pray, I go into the closet. That's between me and my Father. I'm not doing it for you to say she's a spiritual person, she's a good person, she gives. I'm doing it for me and God.
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying. So whatever you do is what you do. I can't say what you do. I know what my heart tells me to do.
Okay.
Yeah, because you like, I'm trying to not know. Whatever, if that's what you feel like you
I
need
was
to
just trying
do.
to clarify. I ain't fed no homeless.
What I'm saying for me is not for show. It's because I genuinely really live this, talk this, walk this in public, in private, in real life.
So you saying you do it to please your Father?
Well, that's everything we should be doing, right? Because he's the only judge and jury.
That's like a kid doing something just to please their parent.
No.
That's what you sound like.
No, but at the end of the day,
You really don't want to do it, but you want to please God.
Okay, you really don't want to go to work, but you're going to go to work. Why?
Get paid.
Because you got to,
I
exactly.
want to buy them new Jordans.
There's a reward, right? There's a gratification. Exactly. My gratification is grounded in God.
So you're going to do everything to please him?
Of course.
You don't see something wrong with that?
Now, that's a whole other podcast.
It's like kids doing stuff to please their parents. That's the same kind of situation.
No.
Will fall
the
into.
difference is,
I'm going to this school to please my mom.
That's different.
I'm going here to please.
That's different.
I really don't want to do it, but I want to please them.
Let me show you the difference. Let me show you the difference. Our parents are flawed. Why are they flawed? Because they're people. We all have flaws. God is flawless, right? So everything that God has me do is going to be the benefit, not only for the world, but for me. Everything that God tells you to do for you is beneficial to you. Everything your parents tell you to do is not necessarily beneficial to you. It may be beneficial to them. God is an unselfish God. God is not going to do things for us out of his selfishness. Your parents is going to tell you to do stuff out of their own selfishness. That is the difference. Your parents are flawed. God is unflawed. He's flawless.
And on that note, y'all tapped in. We about to close this one on. Saniyyah closes up.
Until next time, continue to break cycles.